At 9:48 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time, Ken Domik filed yet another copyright claim against a video on the KDDE channel, producing the second strike. This time he did so as Kenneth Domik and not KBD Productions TV, due to it being a vlog video. I will say this is slightly ingenious of him, but still a fraudulent claim all the same. I sent a counterclaim to it, and now that leaves 4 outstanding counters awaiting YouTube's review to then be forwarded on to Ken, at which point he has 10 business days to decide how to proceed. Given that his claims are meritless due to the fair dealings provision outlined in the Canadian Copyright Act, where my videos are providing criticism, satire, and parody, he is unlikely to take any further action. However, before I delve any further into that, I will now read to you verbatim the email I did not send him in the wee hours of the morning, but did this afternoon. Dear Mr. Domik, I am writing to inform you that I have submitted counterclaims to YouTube in response to your fraudulent copyright claims that you levied against my channel. As stated in my counterclaim, the Canadian Copyright Act outlines the use of copyrighted materials in a transformative way for the purposes that include criticism, parody, and satire, among a few others. All videos on my channel fall within this scope. You are free to, of course, file a claim against me in court. However, I feel it would be pointless and without merit due to the aforementioned fair dealings usage. Suppressing freedom of speech that is protected under the Canadian Charter of Rights and Freedoms is an egregious offense. I should also state that should my personal information be leaked as a result of this act of aggression, I will not hesitate to file a suit for intrusion upon seclusion in the Barrie Courthouse, which to my knowledge is the most local court to you. I shall now be pressing the issue with YouTube to address your misuse of the copyright claim system, and should you choose to, as usual, do nothing with these frivolous claims, I will file a legitimate counterclaim against for damages associated with abusing the system. This is by no means a threat and serves only to convey my intentions on the matter. Yours truly, KDDE. So what can I really do as far as taking action against Ken Domik? Short answer, plenty. I can absolutely file a claim in Ontario's Small Claims Court over this matter. Now that he has filed claims against me both personally as well via his business, I could file separately just to make a point. As I am not a wealthy individual and have a modest income, the fees could be problematic, even if they are relatively small. Although, in my own mind, I figure there must be a few hundred people that would be willing to part with a single dollar if justice would be dished up to Ken Domik of KBD Productions TV for his continual and systemic abuse of the copyright strike system on YouTube. In 2019, YouTube actually sued an individual who was knowingly submitting numerous fraudulent DMCA takedown notices. Granted, while his intent was to extort money from his victims, it should be noted that the abuse or misuse of the system is where Ken Domik falls into this same pattern. He knowingly submits a claim even though he is aware of fair dealings or fair use. However, he does so with the hopes that his actions to suppress freedom of speech will result in someone being scared off from continuing to criticize him by threat of legal consequences. Look up YouTube v. Christopher Brady. In a stipulated judgment, he agreed to apologize, pay a $25,000 fine, and essentially stop his scam. So there is some legal precedent for suing someone for abuse of the copyright system. Meanwhile, not a single claim he has ever filed to my knowledge, although this is an assumption, mind you, has actually resulted in him filing a claim in court against someone. Why? Because Ken Domik knows he would not have a leg to stand on, period. Filing a small claims court motion would be so that a judgment could be on the record that the content I have uploaded is legally protected by the fair dealings provision of the Canadian Copyright Act. I could submit in the claim up to $35,000 in damages, but monetary gain is not my intent or goal. However, the judge could opt to award something to cover fees, time, etc., if nothing else. As for the abuse of the system, that would likely need to be taken to a higher court. I've consulted with a partner within a family member's law firm on the matter, and am waiting to hear back on that process. Ken Domik decided to poke the bull, and the consequences are he must now deal with the horns. From the onset, my goal was to put an end to his tyrannical behavior where he goes after his critics unlawfully. So, what will I do for now? I'll continue to work on content for once Ken does nothing with the claims he filed against my channel, so that I will have a stockpile. I will also test out ways to continue to react to him where he cannot file these fraudulent claims. However, now that the rules have changed, so will my tone. I kept things rather civil in my reactions. However, Ken has no scruples, so why should I bite my tongue going forward? This doesn't mean I'm going to be derogatory, but I may now be a bit more blunt with my observations and opinions. Ken Domik is his own worst enemy in summation. The coward won't respond, which actually I will say looks poorly on him in the eyes of the courts and YouTube, seeing as they try and get both parties to amicably resolve the situation on their own. When you have a copyright claimant ignoring you, it looks bad on them. Thought you might like to know that, Ken. Doesn't mean that if you do respond, it will make your stance any better, but at least it shows you are addressing the allegations against you. I suppose this could give me more time to spend on the new KDDE Discord channel. Link will be in the description below. A few of you have already joined, which is great. The more, the merrier. At any rate, as Gloria Gaynor once said, I will survive. Thanks for watching another Ken Domik dissemination expose, and until next time, KDDE out.